Certainly, we do not approve of the proposal that anybody gets a degree if they are not competent enough, they are not qualified enough, if they have not obtained adequate training in the MBBS. And to achieve this, our aim is to have their extra classes, to compensate for their losses, and then ask them to appear. Even that has not worked very well. Then we asked the Medical Council of India that devise some ways so that the pressure of study is reduced on them at any given time. This is true for that group of students who fail because they have to appear in more than one subject. So they cannot cope up in two subjects at any given time. There is a lot of pressure. Hence we suggested, can we develop a semester system so that one student, when he is ready to appear in one subject, he completes the semester system and then he marches to the next professional year. That could be one good option, but MCI is to deliberate and give us the directions. Third is that all those students who cannot clear the first professional, second or final professional examination in 3 attempts should have no reason to continue in the university and pursue the medical course. They can opt for any other course because medicine is different.
Right, well, Anand joins us for more. Anand, a story there that can really cause a lot of outcry in a sense. The VC, they're actually suggesting that the students just be promoted even though they don't pass the exams. And that too in a medical college.
Absolutely, Gargi. It makes us ask the obvious question that whether are we lowering standards by doing something like this or by suggesting something like this and eventually threatening the lives of these people, that these doctors who are promoted on these grounds eventually enter the medical fraternity. So is that, going to eventually happen? But allaying those fears, the Vice-Chancellor told us that that is not perhaps the intention behind doing this. He says that he's clearly bound by the rules of the Medical Council of India not to expel these students, no matter how many times they fail in these examinations that are held, the first professional exams, the second professional or the third or the fourth. So he says that he perhaps was only trying to suggest a way out of the situation because time and again these respective students have alleged a caste bias against the faculty members. Even this time around during the last examinations when external people were involved in the entire process, 19 of those students who have been languishing in this college for more than 2 decades now, they have yet again failed in those examinations. And a good thing for perhaps the Vice-Chancellor is that the chairman, the SC/ST Commission chairman, Mr. P.L. Pulnia, in his letter to him recently on the 18th of November 2011 has said, and I'd like to quote from this particular letter, very categorically he is saying that there is no discrimination against the SC/ST students over here. However, he's also suggesting perhaps means of ensuring that some kind of extra classes or any other means that should be employed to ensure that these students pass these exams and move on to the next level. So clearly, Mr. Gupta, the professor, the Vice-Chancellor, getting a clean chit from the SC/ST Commission, which had looked into these allegations as well. And clearly the ball is now in the Medical Council of India's the court to actually perhaps review their decision to not expel students, a decision that they took in 1997 and which continues to hold even today, and revise that perhaps in the light, because if this suggestion is accepted by the Medical Council of India of actually promoting students despite the fact that they are failing in their exams, that could have an adverse impact on the quality and the standards of the medical fraternity as well.
Right, absolutely. Anand, so briefly, are we to read it as a desperate yet outrageous suggestion by the Vice-Chancellor because he has no choice? As you're saying, these students have been there for 2 decades now.
Absolutely. This is something that he has told us very categorically. This is a last resort because he does not want to be alleged of any kind of a caste bias, which is why perhaps such an outrageous or a ridiculous suggestion that some people would put it, because he says that he has done everything possible under the norms of the university to actually help these students. Special classes have been given to them, counseling has been given to them, every step that is necessary to perhaps cultivate some kind of an interest in subjects like physiology, botany, anatomy. Those have been employed, but these students continue to fail their examinations. And this time around, in the previous exams, they had employed external examiners to ensure that no kind of a bias against the internal faculty of the university can be alleged. But despite that, these students have still not managed to pass their exams.
Right. Well, Anand, thanks so much for joining us. With that, of course, we'll get more reactions to that story.
NDTV's cricket app, Android and iPhone. Fastest scorecard, special analysis, and much more. Download free. ndtv.com/apps.